Hi, my name's Cale, and my two words are prideful and forgiven. So I was raised in a Christian home, and I was always raised with Christian beliefs. I never knew anything different. Unfortunately, the beliefs I was raised with, the beliefs that I grew to believe, through no fault of my parents or the people around me, was that Christianity was a moral system. I truly believed that Christianity was about being a good person and about doing the right things. At one point when I was young, I even told my parents that I thought that people who weren't Christians intentionally did bad things all the time. That anyone who wasn't a Christian was a thief and a murderer, like literally any kind of bad thing you can imagine. I assumed people who weren't Christians did. I didn't do any of those. So I saw myself as greatly superior to everyone else. I thought I was better than everyone else because I thought I was morally good and I thought I knew something in Christianity that they didn't. And so, honestly, I was incredibly arrogant. I walked around thinking I was better than everyone else. I treated people poorly who I didn't think were Christians or who weren't as spiritually mature in like they didn't know as much about the Bible as me because I thought that's where my value lied. Unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately, in about 8th grade, I started struggling hard with various sins. I began looking at pornography at that age, quite frankly, and I knew that was wrong. Now, I had done wrong things in the past that I had managed to explain away, but this one was so serious that I knew I couldn't explain this one away. I was doing something that God did not approve of. I was doing something completely wrong. And that shattered this idea, this notion that I was good and better than everyone else. And quite frankly, because I believed that Christianity was about being good and moral, I thought my faith was over. I basically thought that I was done. I was not going to stop calling myself a Christian, but I was ready to completely give up on following the faith. Basically, the only reason I would even still claim it was because I was in a Christian family. And I just thought the Christian life was impossible. I thought there was no way to be that good. I would literally have dreams where God would be looking at my life and he would see this sin and be like, you know what, you would be good if you didn't have this sin in your life, but because of that I'm going to have to send you to hell. I had dreams like that. That's the way I viewed God. Now, I went to this crew retreat actually, which is, I'm at a crew event right now speaking about this, but I was at a crew retreat and it wasn't the first time I'd heard the verse. But it was a verse in the biblical book of Ephesians, and it basically states that it's by faith we've been saved. So just by believing in Jesus, believing that he died for our sins as a sacrifice and took them on him, and then rose from the dead, just by putting my faith in him and trusting that I've been forgiven, that God forgives me. And that was the first time that sunk in. I just remember it being this emotional summer, this so experiential, and that was the moment I first accepted Christ, quite frankly. You know, when I was 5, I sort of did, kind of because I was pressured by my parents and my siblings and my friends, but this was the first time I really, truly understood the gospel, that we're extended forgiveness of sins. Since then, I haven't been perfect. In fact, that was the summer before my freshman year, and I continued to struggle with pornography until, honestly, 2014, or late in 2014. I've experienced some freedom in that in the past few months, but quite frankly, I'm not perfect. I mess up all the time. I do bad things still. But now I know that Christians aren't good people. Christians are forgiven people. And because of that, I no longer have to feel superior to others. I no longer have to treat people like I'm better than them. Because I know I'm just as messed up as they are, and I'm forgiven. And God extends that same forgiveness to them because Jesus died for them too. So I went from feeling incredibly prideful to being humbled in the Lord and experiencing his forgiveness.